Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. I'm joined by Dimitris Serelas, who's a co-founder of MyTeam, one of the interesting investment opportunities that we have open right now at Seedlink. Interesting because it has shown amazing traction over the past years. It has been backed up by Genesis Ventures and also 11 from Greece, respectively, and Bulgaria. Dimitris is here with me today to address some of the most common questions that I hear from investors. And maybe if you have additional questions, do not hesitate to contact me or him. We have a discussion tab on the platform page as well. I see that some of you have already started using it. So I strongly encourage it after this chat, after this video, to also use this facility. So without further ado, Dimitris, hi. Thanks for your time.
Hi, Angel. Thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure to work with you guys, and I would be glad to answer any questions you might have, and that will help the campaign.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. So I've comprised a list of the most common questions that popped up over the past few weeks, and I'll start without any order or anything like that. But if you can please present yourself first and the team that's behind the idea, I think it's going to be useful for the investors.
Of course, of course. So, as you already said, I'm Dimitris Serales. I'm the founder and CEO of MyTeam. Some personal background. I have been playing semi-pro basketball in Greece and UK for more than 20 years. So I have been in the sports industry almost my whole life. My academic background was also in sports management, and then I did my master's in electronic business, and then I worked for many years in the e-business sector and what we used to call e-business optimization back then, or digital transformation now in Greece, where I was working in a digital agency with my current co-founder Yorgos Malamatlis. For more than 12 years. We had the opportunity to work with many startups like Pop Market, like Viva, which was not an online payment acquirer back then, and some other great companies in their Greek brands like Heineken, Amstel, Lay's, BMW, and many more.
Would you say that the idea was born from your own experience with semi-professional basketball?
Definitely, yeah. The idea was born when I was part of my local club, when I came back from the UK, and I was helping with the administrative tasks of the club. And I felt that it was not worth to spend like half of your day doing administrative tasks that had to do with the registration, communication with the parents or the athletes, or to try and find an open court in order to book your practice. It was a real nightmare. So, having this experience and having my background, both in sports and tech, I decided that it was a great idea to start building an MVP. In the beginning, just to help my local club, to be honest. But as this was evolving, I managed to show this MVP to another club called Proteas Voulas, which is a club nearby my house. These guys happen to have more than 600 kids, so it's one of the biggest basketball academies in the Balkans. And they really liked the idea. And, from a side project or something that was initially built to help my own interest, it started to be shaped more of like a company. So the first client that we had was Proteas Voulas. I still remember the time that we pitched to these guys. They came back with a feedback with 65 requests. And we said, okay, guys, we definitely cannot do all of them, but we will try to do as much as we can. And we managed to do 60 out of the 65 requests within the summer. So this was the story of how we signed the first client. So, these guys gave obviously very good feedback on what we were doing to other sports clubs. And within the first year, we managed to get on board some of the most important brand names in the Greek sports ecosystem, like Olympiakos, Panathinaikos, some departments of AEK Athens. And
is it only basketball teams or?
No. We are sports agnostic. We have more than 32 different sports right now. We have basketball, football, handball, volleyball, cheerleading, whatever you can imagine.
So you can manage all your sports activities in one app.
Exactly. That's the idea.
So has it changed since you launched it, since you initially did those 65 iterations? How?
Definitely. It changed when, we had this aha moment, because when we got our first 10 clients, we start understanding that beside the B2B part, we were serving also a B2C part, which was the parents, the athletes, the coaches, and all the end users at the end of the day. And, every time you sign up a club, you get within the club a community that is using your application. And within this community, there is a huge load of transaction happening. So, initially the idea was definitely that we want to build an app to optimize the daily operations of these clubs. But after being out there and serving these clubs, we found out that the most important part was to help them to optimize their financials and the transactions that are happening within the ecosystem of every sports club. So imagine that a medium-sized club in Greece might have a turnover of 150K per year. Some bigger clubs might have 500,000 or even more. And this has only to do with the membership fees that are paid from the athletes and the parents towards the club. Within the whole ecosystem, there are a bunch of other things that are happening. You have to get your merchandise every year because kids are growing up. They need to get their jerseys. You need to pay sometimes for physio. You need to pay for transfers. You need to pay for shoes. For some sports, you need to get your new racket or whatever it's needed to participate in the sport. So we found that there is a huge load of money that has been that is transacted within this ecosystem, and most of this money are usually transacted by cash. So one of the things that we said that it's worth to chase was to digitize all these payments. And we found out at the end of our research that the total accessible market out there from the memberships that we get from the software as a service is less from the total accessible market from the money that we can get only from the online payments fee from the transactions happening within the ecosystem. And this was the moment that we decided that we have to go mostly out there as a fintech product and less as a sports tech company.
So that's one of the key differentiating things that you have with your competition.
Exactly. And we decided that we don't want to do just the online payments. This was just the first step. We have already released the first fintech service, which is a custom-made insurance tailored for the kids who participate within the app. They can buy it online, and
who's the provider of the insurance?
It's a Greek insurance company called Syndea. and we are talking with partners abroad to provide it also in other countries.
Okay. So in case they are injured, there's a health insurance.
Exactly. There is a health insurance that covers everything that happens during the time that they go to the practice, obviously during the time that they're practicing, and during the time they go back. So beside that, we found out there was a need for buy now, pay later services. So we are now exploring this as a service for our clients, both in the B2B sector and the B2C, because the membership fee on an annual subscription might be 500 euro, but during the summer, that most of the clubs are having the summer camps for the kids, 500 euro might be just the cost for 1 week. So it totally makes sense to provide buy now, pay later services for our clientele.
Right. You mentioned several times the software as a service, the fintech, the B2B, the B2C elements. Maybe it's a good idea to compile everything into the following question. Can you walk us through the business model? Who's your ideal customer profile? How do you collect money?
Sure. So right now, most of our money comes from the software as a service part. So what we do is that we have the web application, which is offered towards the sports clubs. So they sign up within the platform and they pay based on the number of athletes they have. So if you have, let's say, up to 50 athletes, you pay 29 euro per month. If you have up to 100 athletes, you pay 49. And for every 50 athletes, we charge 20 euro more per month. So this is one of the most important revenue streams for us. And it's something that we will keep chasing because this is what brings users to the platform, and it gives us the opportunity to create revenue from the fintech services. So the idea is that we sign up clubs, and these clubs are bringing users to our base, and we can capitalize on them through the other services that we described before.
Okay, could you share some key performance indicators, like some of the financials, or how many clubs actually have signed up for that?
Yes, we have. We are, as of today, we're almost up to 250 clubs. All of them are paying customers. We have more than 85,000 users within the platform, parents, athletes, and then we have some coaches and administrators. The ARR yesterday reached for the first time more than 150K. And the most important and interesting thing is that the amount of money that is being transacted within the platform, so I'm talking about the money that the parents and the athletes are paying towards our customers, it has
so-called GMV.
Exactly. The GMV is more than 33 million as of today.
Since the beginning of the launch of the
Since the beginning of the season.
Since the beginning of the season.
Sports seasons, sports seasons
33 million euros.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
13 million euros.
Okay, 13, still impressive.
Still impressive, yeah. And imagine that we have 250 clubs, but out of them, like 200 of them are using the financials as a feature because some of them signed up recently, so they didn't create it yet, the whole subscription thing. So within 200 clubs, we have 13 million of memberships.
Okay. So what is your customer acquisition cost? Do you know? Do you have an idea?
Yes. When it comes to marketing spend, right now is a bit less than 300 euro. And the average contract is a bit less than 650 euro, 647 euro per year. So the other thing that we are trying to optimize is the percentage of the clubs that can become one deal from a lead. So right now we are almost at 23%, which is an amazing percentage in terms of benchmark. But we think that we can even get in higher percentages on that. And one of the other things that we are also working on to optimize is the time that we need to convert the client from the inbound to a one deal, which is during the summer period, less than 30 days. During the winter, it's usually around 40 days.
Why do you say that? Why is that happening? Why is that seasonality?
I'm saying that because, in our case, you have some kind of a seasonality similar to educational institutes, because most of the sports clubs are operating from September until maybe May or end of June. So you have a window of opportunity to start reorganizing for the next season from the end of May until beginning of September. So during the summer, it's much easier to close a deal and
I
much
see.
faster.
I see. So you will be working on optimizing those, but in terms of expansion strategy, what's next on your agenda? What's happening?
We have already started with, we already have paying customers in Germany. We actually have two paying customers in Germany. And we have already hired a native Spanish speaker in order to launch in Spain. Right now, we already have the first inbounds. We already have done the first demos, and we're expecting to have the first paying customers by the end of July.
How big is the team actually?
We are 17 people, most of them obviously on the tech part. We have a sales team. Then we have the customer support slash, customer satisfaction team. We have also a marketing team and growth guys that have to deal with anything in terms of partnerships, CRM and stuff like that. And we also have some guys who are helping on the financial part, and then the founders. By the way, we have some external partners because there are many times that we need to give extra capacity to the tech team. So we think that it's important to build, a network of partners, especially in the tech part.
Okay. In terms of competition, who's your immediate and strongest competitor and why?
In Europe, I would say that the two main competitors are Spont and Sports Easy. Both of them are way older than us in terms of when they were founded. Sports Easy is a French startup, and they are having mostly focused on the operational part. I would say that they're doing pretty well on that part, but they haven't considered, going out for the fintech optimization of the clubs and the community. The same happens with Spont. They are a well-funded startup, and they are doing pretty well in the UK and in the Nordics. But I would say that they are trying again to solve the operational part, which is something that I think that, can be done with several ways and easily with most of the startups in the sports tech ecosystem.
Right. Okay. So I think that sums up most of the questions that I received from investors. Thanks a lot, Dimitris, for your time. a call to action. I think we should conclude with call to action. I think we should call the investors to look in details about the investment opportunity. MyTeam is now raising and have been so kind to allocate a small proportion for seedling investors as well. Any details, Dimitris, that you want to share?
Yeah, as you already know, we're raising through a convertible note. We have already more than 900,000 committed from our existing investors, both.
That's Genesis and 11, right?
It's Genesis 11. It's also Lars Rasmussen, who is among
from Google, right?
Yeah, the founder of Google Maps, and some other angels from Greece and Bulgaria. So we are raising up to 2 million euro, and we want to raise up to 200K from our campaign in Seedbring.
Thanks again, Dimitris. As I began this conversation today, we have started receiving questions over the discussion tab, and I personally am receiving calls and emails. I strongly encourage you to reach out if you want more details about the campaign. Thanks a lot again. Have a great day.
Same. Thanks a lot, Angel.